about Polo G a lot is he does the 2-strand twist. In almost every picture of him or anytime you see him, he usually has his dreadlocks in the 2-strand twist. So with that being said, anytime you see his dreadlocks out, they're either curly or they're straight. And if they are straight, it just tells you that he washed his dreadlocks. Because if you take dreadlocks out of 2-strand twist, it usually is always curly. Obviously, depending on how long you keep the 2-strand twist in. Say if you want to get curly dreadlocks and you put 2-strand twists in and you unravel them and they're not curly, then you just didn't leave them in there long enough. And typically you would want to do the 2-strand twist while your hair is damp and then take them out when they're completely dry. So you'd probably want to wait a couple days. But I'll go ahead and go over Polo G's hair type so that you guys can have an understanding of how he started his dreadlocks. He has about a 4B hair type. 4B is a very easy to work with hair, especially when getting dreadlocks. The tight curl patterns allow the hair to lock up extremely fast. Compared to straight hair, or even in the 2 range or the 3s, it takes a little bit longer for the hair to lock up. Now, considering the way he started his dreadlocks, which is most likely either 2-strand twist or just twisting with gel because his sections are so precise. I'm leaning a little bit more towards him doing just twisting with gel, but with him always doing 2-strand twist, he could have possibly started out that way as well. And obviously, if you want more information on how he actually started his dreadlocks, you can watch the last video I did on Polo G. One thing you'll really notice about Polo G's dreadlocks is they are super precise, just like I said. I mean, the brick pattern is perfect, all of his sections are exactly the same size, and the 2-strand twists just really look good. And one thing you'll notice about his hair is it's super thick, and that's one thing to expect with the 4B hair type. But his hair is always well kept, very maintained, and overall he has some really good looking dreadlocks. And with this 2-strand twist, you can see that he actually has rubber bands at the tips. And rubber bands aren't always necessary for doing 2-strand twists, but obviously if you want it to hold better, use rubber bands at the tips. And if you do want a tutorial on how to do 2-strand twists, you could just search up how to do 2-strand twists, and you can watch my video on it, or you can watch other people's. But I do a very detailed video on how to actually do 2-strand twists, so you can look up my video. One thing I want you guys to notice is that his dreadlocks seem to appear thicker on the sides and on the back of his head. And not only does his hair appear that way, but that's just really how it is. If you guys don't know, hair on the top of your head for men and women as well is actually thinner up at the top. And that's just really how it goes. The hair on the back and the sides of the head lasts forever, and it's thicker. That's just a quick tip for you guys to understand when getting dreadlocks, to understand that the hair on the top of the head is typically a little different. Almost even has a different texture just because it's not as thick. All right, moving on to this last photo really quick. There's not many photos in this one just because this is an update video. But I mean, really nothing has changed too much just because he's always doing the 2-strand twist. One thing I like about his dreadlocks is that they're nice and thick. If you guys know Activerse, his dreadlocks kind of resemble his. Obviously not the blue or the dye or anything like that, because Polo G